while you were watching Homelander get his skull caved in by a rusty crowbar, you missed the most terrifying detail of The Boys finale. You think The Boys won? Look closer. That final scene proved we completely lost. Stan Edgar was never defeated. He was the Shadow Master, orchestrating the complete execution of his own soups the exact second their market value expired. The real question isn't how the tyrant died. It's why Stan Edgar deliberately let Billy Butcher kill him. Today we're exposing the dark corporate conspiracy everyone completely missed, and how the real monster of this show just rebuilt its empire using the literal blood of its victims. To understand how things actually work inside Vought International, you've got to completely throw away the basic, cliché idea of good versus evil. In Stan Edgar's playbook, soups aren't gods. They are heroes. They're just highly volatile, human commodities. And when a product becomes a massive liability that threatens the stability of the global market, the only logical corporate solution is a planned bankruptcy. You liquidate the asset. For the entirety of Season 5, the show tricked us into thinking the conflict was driven by two things: Homelander's terrifying descent into absolute madness, specifically his obsession with getting his hands on the rare V1 compound hidden inside Soldier Boy's blood to achieve true immortality, and the boys trying to use the biological virus from the Godolkin labs as their silver bullet. But notice the massive plot hole everyone ignored. Why were the remaining virus samples suddenly destroyed by Zoe Newman and her father, Samir? Do you honestly think that was just a convenient dramatic coincidence for a quick escape? Absolutely not. Vought knew that if that virus stayed in play, it posed an existential threat that could wipe out every single soup on Earth. And wiping out every soup means losing billions of dollars in corporate assets forever. Edgar wanted the psychopathic Homelander gone, sure, but he was never going to allow the permanent destruction of Compound V. The narrative was meticulously guided to eliminate the virus, leaving Homelander completely exposed, overconfident, and totally naked against the trap waiting for him at the White House. But that's where things get genuinely terrifying, because Edgar wasn't working alone. This brings us straight to the second mastermind in this shadow play, Sister Sage. Across the last 2 seasons, Sage was the actual architect behind the entire political circus, putting Homelander in control of the presidency and rolling out martial law through Calhoun. But remember, Sage openly admitted multiple times that she was totally burnt out by her own infinite intelligence. She saw her brain as a curse. Her ultimate endgame? Sit back and let humans and soups completely tear each other apart. The casual viewer looked at the finale and assumed Kimiko accidentally fried Sage's brain using her newly boosted nuclear radiation. But if you actually analyze Sage's psychology, the truth is jaw-dropping. Sage let Kimiko hit her on purpose. It was her perfect tactical exit strategy. She drew up the battle lines, let her own brain temporarily melt so she could turn into a blissfully simple-minded person who just wants to go to a Harry Potter theme park, and left Homelander to storm the boys' hidden bunker with nothing but fake, unearned confidence. And that ambush set up the absolute tragedy. Frenchie sacrificing his own life, taking his final agonizing breaths from severe radiation poisoning in Kimiko's arms. All of it was just to buy her enough time and emotional fuel to lock in that radiation stabilization experiment. It wasn't just a heartbreaking death for a fan-favorite character. It was the final gear turning in Stan Edgar's machine to strip the tyrant of his biological immunity and drag him down to Earth. Inside the Oval Office, the god was permanently turned back into a regular, terrified man, his cells completely drained of Compound V by Kimiko's radiation blast. And there's brilliant visual symbolism in Billy Butcher using a basic, primitive crowbar to finish him off. A crowbar is a tool humans use to tear down walls and pry open locked boxes. Using it to smash Homelander's skull was the ultimate imagery for dismantling the illusion of a deity. But think about it. Why did the White House's heavy underground defense systems just let the boys stroll right into the Oval Office? And why did Ashley Barrett make the sudden, sacrificial choice to betray Vought, using her own mutated Compound V powers to crush the ambush forces and clear an exit for the team? Because the unwritten orders from the deep state were clear. Let Butcher reach Homelander. Stan Edgar knew that if Homelander kept running his fascist, theological regime, especially after that radical Resurrection Sunday speech, he was going to completely crash the American economy. Corporations don't want a lunatic running a perpetual military state. Capitalism demands predictable stability to make money. The boys were handed an easy path, and Homelander was left to be publicly executed right in front of open cameras for the entire world to see. Look at how the rest of the major deaths lined up perfectly to clean the slate. A-Train, the guy who literally started the entire series by accidentally obliterating Robin, which is the whole reason Huey joined the fight, gets killed by Homelander because he finally chose real redemption by protecting Huey. His death completes a perfect moral circle. The Deep, getting absolutely shredded and eaten by sharks and marine life in the ocean, is the ultimate cosmic justice for a guy who claimed to protect the sea while abusing it for his own pathetic, insecure crimes. The second the Oval Office massacre ended, Billy Butcher's absolute scorched earth nihilism took over. Driven completely mad by his visions of Kessler, the death of his dog Terror, and losing Ryan's loyalty, he headed straight for Vought Tower to pump the virus into the ventilation system and wipe out every single person with Compound V on the planet. But Huey Campbell stood his ground to protect humanity and his pregnant girlfriend, Annie. Huey killed his own friend and mentor, putting a permanent stop to the endless loop of vengeance. And then the curtain closes on our main characters. Huey and Annie walk away from power, opening up a quiet, modest audiovisual shop. Mother's Milk goes home to Monique, adopting Ryan to protect him from the dark legacy of his parents. Kimiko leaves for France alone to heal and find herself. It feels great, right? The villains are dead, the good guys survived, and the era of tyranny is over. Except the final news broadcast hits you like an absolute sledgehammer, forcing you to re-examine all 5 seasons. The screen cuts to the old corporate titan himself, Stan Edgar, casually and calmly stepping back into his role as the absolute CEO of Vought International. He stands in front of a wall of press cameras, confidently declaring that the chaos of the soups and the tyranny of Homelander prove to the world exactly why strict corporate and economic oversight is mandatory. Vought isn't the enemy. Vought is here to save you, restore order, and make sure this tragedy never happens again. Do you see the game now? The true villain of the boys was never a fascist psychopath like Homelander, and it wasn't a bloodthirsty avenger like Butcher. The real monster is the permanent structure of deep-rooted capitalism. Vought made Compound V. Vought created Homelander. Vought funded the chaos. And the exact second their puppets burned each other out, the companies stepped right back into the light, wearing the mask of the savior. Our heroes thought they were fighting a war for liberation, but for 5 seasons, they were just working as free janitors, cleaning up Vought's failed product lines so the company could open up a fresh, multi-billion-dollar market. Homelander and Butcher are dead, but Vought is immortal, because the system always knows how to rewrite its own story using the blood of the people it destroyed. The false gods fell, but the throne didn't move an inch, and the man sitting on it is the one who didn't fire a single bullet the entire time. Stan Edgar. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Did this philosophical ending catch you off guard? And how crazy was the sheer chess match played by Edgar and Sage? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell for Drama Crypt, because our war against lazy writing and massive plot twists is just getting started. We've got a massive deep dive coming up next for From, and trust me, we're exposing everything Vought has planned for Homelander's son Ryan in the near future. Stay sharp, Stay cynical, and I'll see you in the next analysis.